What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Jump Dropper Sports. I'm your host, Shanti Store, back here with my dog. Yes, sir. Mr. NBA
What up,
himself.
man?
Yeah.
What up, man?
Yeah.
I
D'Angelo
feel like
Stevenson, dog. How you
I feel
been?
bad. I feel bad, man, because I just be popping up like I'm a recruiter. You know how little recruiting star or some stuff on the thing, like a guest
Yeah,
star or
you're a
something. That's what
recurring
I feel
guest.
like. A recurring guest. This ain't. I got to get back on the thing full time, man. I've been cool, bro. You know, what I'm saying, chilling, bro. Everything's starting to wind down and stuff like that. You know, we chilling. You know, what I'm saying, how you holding? How you holding? How you holding?
Hey, man, I'm good, bro. Can't complain, bro. Really just, shoot, man. Just working the podcast, bro. Like, just keeping it real simple, bro. Just
Keep
keeping
it
it real
G.
kosher, bro.
Keep it
You
G.
feel
Keep
me?
it G.
You feel me? But
I
but you
hear you.
know why we here. Especially if you on the show, everybody should know what's about to get talked about. And it's these NBA playoffs, dog. I mean, I gotta ask you from what you've seen thus far before we get into any specifics. Yo, what have been your surprises? What have you been impressed with? Like what's your overall thoughts on the playoffs thus far to the first round?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. And this probably gonna be a stretch though, cause not ain't really a stretch, cause I feel like in recent years you really ain't seen it. But this has been a competitive first round, bro. This has been a competitive first round, bro. The Timberwolves giving Denver the work. They out here, obviously OKC went on to do what they do. Spur. There was a time where we thought like the Blazers was gonna give, the Spurs some work. Wemby went out with the
Yeah.
concussion. We was like, oh man, like he might be out for real, but he came back and he clinched it out. But obviously, man, like the surprise to everybody is definitely Detroit versus Orlando, man. Like a team who was, sneaked into the play-in. They won their play-in games and they go up 3-1 against Detroit, man. That is a shocker. That's a shocker, for a lot of people, man. And then I think a team that's still kind of like hanging on too, even though they lost yesterday, they still kind of hanging on is Atlanta. Atlanta is kind of hanging on to New York. They kind of got blowed out yesterday, 97 to 126, but they hanging on. And obviously, Philadelphia is hanging on to Boston. They got the big two back. You know what I'm saying? If you want to call the big three, if you want to put either White or Pritchard in there, but they hanging on. They hanging on, man. And they go back to
That's
Philly in
facts.
game 6, man. So like I said, it's been a really competitive first round for a couple of these teams lately, man. And dude, and even look at Cleveland and Toronto, man. Cleveland and Toronto, that's been lingering. Uh and look at y'all close it out. I ain't got nothing to say about that. Just close it out,
Yeah,
cause
bro. It's
that
handle
that
business. It's handle
that
business, bro.
Rockets team is just it's a lot to say about
Yeah.
that Rockets team. But man, it's just really been competitive, man. I know you really tied into the Lakers, man. But what's your opinion about everything? You know what I'm saying? Cause I know you've been eyeballing this joint too.
Overall, I think the teams that I had pegged as the teams, to beat and these playoffs have shown up. I mean, obviously OKC doing what they did to the doing what they did to the Suns, even without J Dub. Shea, SGA had a stellar performance throughout that series. I mean, looked like every single bit of the MVP that he's probably going to be, now for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Efficient, dominated. That's what they do. The defending champs look like the defending champs. First time in a long time that I think we've had defending champs look like they're prime to possibly get back to the throne and see if they can reclaim it. For the Spurs, very impressed with how the Spurs handle themselves, though. I mean, and me and Ace talked about it a bunch. That being just being a young team that needs to get experience, they have all the talent in the world. And with how fast their young guys are developing, they're going to be there sooner than what everybody thought, because I don't think anybody had them pegged to be the number 2 seed, a 60-win team this quickly after getting Castle and Dylan Harper. So just very impressed with them and how they handle themselves. Wemby being the generational player that he is, he looked every bit of the part in his playoff debut. Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, all those guys have moments. Even De'Aaron Fox had his moments where he helped stabilize that group. They're a really good team, and I told I texted this in the chat, but if you were asking me today who has the better roster between OKC and San Antonio, I would have to say San Antonio has the better roster. Just there's more talent there, and I mean, I can't deny them just because they're young. They're young and ascending, and I think that there are multiple players on this San Antonio team that I believe in the future can have their own team and run the show as the number one guy. Whereas with OKC, I believe the guy that's running the show now is the only guy that can run the show for a team. Jada being the only guy next to him that I believe can have his own team and possibly be the number one option. But I believe those guys over there at OKC are fit for the roles that they're in, and I don't know if they ever ascend past that. The guys in San Antonio, I believe that there are bright futures ahead and franchise cornerstones in the future for somebody else down the line. You know,
I
but
honestly agree with you in terms of San Antonio, man. Because like again, I really think it was bound to happen because Wemby is he's a competitive person. So I think that really kind of overshadowed the experience in a way, you know, because he wants to win regardless on what team he's on. You seen in the Olympics where you knew for a fact that there was a chance they could have won the Olympics, and you seen how competitive he can get in the big moments. So I'm not surprised that they're this good this early with such a young team. We've seen it multiple times. OKC has done it in 2 occasions, mind you, with the KD era, and they doing it now with the Shea era, and they got a championship with the Shea era. So I don't think it's nothing, you know, that should be a surprise, but it was bound to happen at some point, and it really was going to be sooner or later. And I think their eyes is whether they make it to the finals or not. I do think their eyes is set on OKC. They want to play OKC. They want to play that competitive team. Now, they do got some teams that could possibly be in the way of that. However, you know, because I mean, what's some boy's name? What's some boy's name? Timberwolves ain't going nowhere. Timberwolves ain't going nowhere, man. So,
and so look, and so about the Timberwolves, right? You know, them obviously losing Dante DiVincenzo to a torn Achilles and losing Anthony Edwards to a hyperextended knee, essentially ending those two guys, like ending their seasons. As of right now, they're one game ahead. They're up 3-2 on the Denver Nuggets. They get a chance to close out at home. Great opportunity for those guys, but still missing that much of your offense. It's hard for me to expect these guys to be able to get it done, even though it's not out of the realm of possibility that Minnesota can still close this thing out at home, even with the guys that they currently have. I think even the last game that they played against Denver, they still competed well. That third quarter is where things started to break down, and you started to see, missing guys like Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. You just cannot. It's hard to make up for that loss of offensive production. They still competed well down the stretch. You're going to be expecting guys off the end of your bench like Terrence Shannon, for example, is going to be asked to do a lot more. For one game, you can have a game where you shoot the lights out the building and you get them for one. That's possible. I would, if I had to bet on it though, Denver's probably coming back in this one. If they get game 6, game 7 is a foregone conclusion in my mind. It's not even like a second thought for me. But like you said, like if Minnesota were healthy though, I believe Minnesota would give San Antonio a night and live in hell with their athleticism and their length that they will be able to play with. Like obviously there is no great matchup for Victor Wembanyama. That is what it is. But when you have 6'10" Julius Randle, 6'10" Naz Reid, 6'10" Jaden McDaniels all across the court, they can play just as physical with San Antonio defensively. And obviously if you had a healthy Anthony Edwards, you would be like, fam, we have probably still the best scorer of everybody else on the court. And we can go into our bench with I can't pronounce his name. Ayo Dosunmu. I can't. That's how you pronounce it.
Let's see. Pulling up right now. Hold on for a second. God dog it. The dang on box score. I hate when the box score don't come up. But I know you talking about.
Yeah.
I know you talking about.
So, what I'm saying, with guys like Ayo and Bones Holland even off the bench, I believe that the bench scoring wise, they would have production there as well. It would be a very entertaining series. Now, that's not to say that the Spurs still wouldn't get it. I just think that would be really high level in terms of just youth and athleticism all across the court. That would be, I feel like, just the most one of the more physical series we would get out of these playoffs. Obviously, up until we think OKC and San Antonio would eventually meet. You know what I'm saying? I just think we missed out on a great series because of those injuries. But I mean, there's still a chance for a good series with the Denver Nuggets. I just have a problem with how Denver is built from top to bottom. I don't like it. And when you look at how Denver even got to this point this season, it was a lot of Joker having to carry this thing. And Jamal Murray had, his best season as a pro in the regular season that he's ever had. And so kudos to him for that. But they're not a good team. And so with the Denver Nuggets, it's just I have an issue with their roster in general. I think they didn't expect Cam Johnson to be this bad and just to not be nearly as viable as they thought he was. When you make the switch for him with MPJ, you were expecting a consistent 3-point shooter, a consistent 3-and-D player, which you haven't gotten that at all. At least not from range. He still engages defensively, but he just hasn't brought you nearly the offensive output that you would expect. Tim Hardaway's been suitable, but when you lose guys like Peyton Watson, who I thought was set to make a huge impact on this year's playoff and really give them that other athletic scorer that they don't really have on that team, and Aaron Gordon's been in and out the lineup with injuries, they're, to me, just not suited to be able to go up against San Antonio. I think San Antonio is going to run roughshod over Denver, and probably, I think the series goes 5 games, bro. Truth be told.
I think it goes 5. I honestly think if Jokic somehow just have miracles and he pretty much just gets everybody involved, I don't see them winning that series either. Again, I think the competitiveness is just the same. Obviously, Denver, and correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, but I just feel like since that championship team, they pretty much ran the same quality of team back. Like, that's all it was. I feel like they probably changed some names, but the overall, like, core, the overall, like, tendencies of that team is still the same. Cam Johnson is not a guy. He's not an MPJ. He's not. He's not a guy who, yes, MPJ was the guy who was very ball dominant, and he was the guy who was able to create scoring for himself, but he's not, like, that Cam Johnson's not that guy. When you seen Cam Johnson on the Suns, when he played with a Chris Paul and a Devin Booker, he was pretty much like a fourth option in a way, third option on some nights. But he was also a guy who had to have someone set him up to get the scores that he got and get the points that he got. And because Jokic is so dependable on being that 0.5, you know, he's not the type of guy that's going to set you up. He's a guy who's going to look for you to get open, and then you're going to get the ball from him. But in terms of him being an actual point, he's not that type of center. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy who has great, vision in the moment, to where if he sees you cutting, all right, cool, you got a shot. Or if he's taking a bad, he's down low, he sees you in the wing on the corner, he's kicking it out. But he's not a guy who's going to bring it up and he's going to see it from a wide angle of the court and it's going to set you. He's not that guy. And Jamal Murray's definitely not that guy. So, and I think that's just the downfall of, like, Cam Johnson's game. Mind you, like, he still can put up double digits. He still puts up double digits. I think he had 18. He had 18 in the game, last game against Minnesota. But he's just not that guy. You're just gonna depend to put the ball on the floor, create his own shots, and then just help you get, the points that you need. I don't like you said. I don't think they're a match for San Antonio. Yeah, Jokic and Wemby are gonna have their thing, but, like, who's gonna, like, Stevie Castle? Like, Jamal Murray's not a reliable defender.
No,
Stephen Castle is. So, like, you put Stephen Castle on Jamal Murray, so that's gonna be a little one-sided a little bit. So,
and not to mention, once we even get to the bench, when you talk about guys like Keldon Johnson, you talk about guys like Dylan Harper. Once you get to the bench lineup, it's like, brother, Denver has no answers for what they would have to see in San Antonio, and I just don't believe those guys are suitable to be able to go into this matchup. And I think Denver's on the downside of their run. I think that run's about to culminate here pretty soon, because how much better is Joker going to get? We're watching the peak of Joker right now. he's not gonna keep ascending at this point. And he's been phenomenal, of course. One of the best centers we've had in the game. Definitely one of the best offensive centers and one of the best offensive players in league history. It can't get much better than where he's at right now. So if that's not going to improve, unless Jamal Murray's going to take a next step, I think we've seen with Jamal. I think this has been the best Jamal Murray we've ever seen, unless something happens in terms of how they run their system and the players that they surround these guys with. They need to pretty much overhaul what they've done in the team that they've built and find a new way to get this team to the elite status back in the West. Because right now it's really just OKC and San Antonio, and everybody else is playing second fiddle.
And I think,
Truth
and
be
it's good
told.
that you said that too, because the inconsistent of Denver has to be questioned. Because again, I feel like it's the same team that they won with the championship with. It's just different names, and it's all. I don't really think. I think because he doesn't have to work so much. Like, he doesn't have to run so much. He doesn't have to bang so much. Like, I would say his peak can last a little bit longer. I say a little more like 3 years, man. He's like, what, 31 now, I think. He's 31. So give it to like 34, because you've seen guys like this. You've seen like
Yeah.
he's to me, honestly, I know this is a big old stretch. And I know I don't want to I don't want to tip no toes when I say this. He's like a way more skilled version of Al Horford. But he can pass the ball, he can shoot the ball, and then he can bang down low. And I think his skill set can keep him around for a bit. Even if like his prime just declines, he's still going to be a guy that can come in and facilitate. He's still going to be a guy that can come in and kind of bang a little bit. He's probably not going to be as elusive as he was in a couple of years, but it's still going to be there. But as of right now, I think that window is closing for them. And I think it's, if you just find a way to surround them around like talent, then I don't like Bones Hollins is not going to get it done for you. Cam Johnson, Bones plays for Minnesota. Sorry. Cam
Yeah.
Johnson, it's not gonna get it to you. Like, I
Mhm.
think at one point y'all brought back the brown cat
Bruce Brown.
who was on that
Yeah.
championship team. Y'all brought him
Mhm.
back. He's not the same player that he used to be. And Christian Braun, from the guy from Kansas. Yeah, that's a big Tim
Bro,
Hardaway
isn't
has
worth
not
the money
done
he has.
no.
Has not done a single thing remotely remarkable since that championship season. And he was a rookie. That was his rookie year when they won the championship. Since then, I haven't seen the vast improvement in his game. Anything that would make him worth the bread that he's getting. Again, they have to go in and reinvent themselves in this offseason and really look in the mirror and say, like dog, we're down 3-1 in Minnesota. We're down 3-2 now, but we got here well before everything went awry for Minnesota. Minnesota's the
Mhm.
better team right now. They've been better
Mhm.
than us this entire series. Rudy Gobert has had a great series thus far, and we can't seem to find a way to get Joker going. This is unacceptable. And not only that, bro. We have to say, Joker has unraveled in this series. I know they're gonna probably end up winning it. I don't want that to take away from the fact that he looked like absolute ass throughout the majority of these games. And even in the game that they just won, he still didn't look great. If you go through and look at the
Yeah.
numbers and how he's shooting the ball, he's still struggling. It's just no other offensive options out there for Minnesota to make you pay for that. And that's the biggest difference for me. If this is what's happening with Rudy Gobert, I just can't imagine it's going to get any better when you see that 7'5" alien on the other side. So I think when people see what happens to them in the next round, if they make it out, don't be surprised, because we told y'all was exactly about their old house. Be all
I
up and
won't
down
be
the court, bro.
I won't be surprised if they lose this game tonight. I mean, not
I
tonight, but
wouldn't.
tomorrow
That's the
night.
crazy thing.
I
Yeah,
won't be
like I wouldn't
surprised
be surprised if
because,
they lost that.
like you said, Rudy Gobert, and and a bone to pick with Shaq, because stop picking on that man, bro. I just want to throw that out there. Stop picking on Rudy Gobert, man. That man up there hooping for real, bro. Y'all chill out on that. But like you said, he's really been stepping
Facts.
up. Julius Randle has really been stepping it up too, man. So like, I would not be surprised if they lose this game Thursday, and they just call
It,
it quits. Now, Timberwolves, will they beat the Spurs? No, I call it a sweep.
oh hell
If
no.
you don't have
With no Anthony Edwards.
no Anthony Edwards, that's a sweep. Unless it's just like Wemby and Rudy go at it, and somehow Rudy gets an advantage of him from experience and just kind of like do his thing. But I don't see them beating San Antonio for real.
No, nobody's. I think San Antonio, with how the bracket fell out, and it's really because of the play-in. The play-in changes how things shake out now for teams in terms of who you pull. Because if I were to ask you, do you think Portland's better than Phoenix? You'd probably say no. But they beat them in a head-to-head in order to get that seeding. So it's like, that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you know, you know, um, that is what it is. I guess we can talk about the Lakers in Houston. This series has been a masterclass by LeBron James and how great he's been for the entirety of his career. Um, but I don't really have but like there isn't much to say about the Lakers more so than there is about the Houston Rockets. That's really the story. We can talk about LeBron being great every day of the week, whether you know what I'm saying. That's gonna be the same. But Houston, with this young team, it's a bit disappointing at how they've looked because of the youth. You talk about Sengun, you talk about Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith. You know, these were guys that we thought like, this is gonna be a great young core to move forward with. You're gonna be able to do some great things. And you talk about last year's team that had Jalen Green on it and Dylan Brooks. That team looked more. I have more faith in that team than I have in this group currently. And it's like, and it's almost a thing like, damn, maybe they should have gave that team another year together and just to see like could you have improved upon that? You know what I'm saying? Instead of being so ready to be done with Jalen Green, which I can understand why you would want to be done with Jalen Green, because I do feel that this guy is never going to be a number one option for a great team.
No.
He, you know what I'm saying? But at least what Dylan Brooks brought to the team, I like what Dylan Brooks brings to every team he's been on. And that level of leadership and character that he has is more than what I can say about Kevin Durant. Now,
Yeah.
in this sense, I'm not going to knock Kevin Durant for being injured, because I'll never discredit a guy and say he doesn't want to compete and he's not really hurt and he's not really injured. It's just that every situation you've gone to since Golden State has ended in some type of fireworks, that it just looks bad. It just all looks bad, and that
He's
can't
not
be dismissed.
he's not a leader. And I think people have to, and I get it, you're getting scoring when he comes. And that's understandable because he's one of the best scorers in the league still at like what, 30, 36, 37, whatever.
Yeah, 37
But
years old, averaging 25 points
37
a
years
night.
old. But he's not, and I think that's something people fail to realize with a lot of these teams is because scoring has overtaken leadership. If you can bring a scorer in on your team, it's all cool. We ain't really got to worry. A lot of these teams don't have discipline. A lot of these teams don't have veteran leadership, and they feel like, oh, if you can score 20, 30, 40 a night, you cool. You can run amok. You can run the offense however you want to run the offense. And we're going to get to that in a second with Detroit, because I feel like that's the issue with them as well. Um, I think Kendrick Perkins said it, and I don't ever agree with Kendrick Perkins, but he literally said that is a team full of players that just don't like each other. That they just don't. That team is full of players who are ball dominant, who need to be on their own team, who need to be the leader at some point. Like Amen Thompson, he's a guy who can go to a team and can be a leader. Sengun could just stay there and be a leader. Like I said, Jalen Green was on that team. He could have been a leader. Now he's in Phoenix. I mean, they just lost, but still, I just think that Rockets team is just a young AAU team with Kevin Durant. And that's just
That's
me being
facts, though.
completely honest. That's all it is.
And that goes to then management and the coaching staff to looking at that roster last year and saying, you know what this team needs? A old vet who doesn't lead and only cares about just getting the bucket. It's not that he only cares about getting the bucket. It's just that Kevin Durant he plays a certain kind of style of basketball, and we've known for years that Kevin Durant needs a point guard. If you have Kevin Durant, he must be accompanied with a ball handler. Fred VanVleet was going to be there. Obviously, injuries happened. Steven Adams went down and everything, but even still, I mean, that's still on management for not filling that role either. Like Lonzo Ball was available. No matter what you feel about him and how much you think he has left in the tank,
He's a point
he,
guard.
he's a point guard. Chris Paul is available, and no matter what you feel about him, I think whatever is left of Chris Paul will help this team out immensely.
Oh yeah,
That's just the fact of the matter. It goes to management, and roster construction. For Kevin Durant, man, it's always going to be a thing with him about, we all recognize how great of a player he is, and there is no denying that fact. There's always going to be something left to be desired about his leadership and can he actually take a team there to the promised land. I think we all got the answer that we were looking for once he left Golden State, and it's been summed up here. Like Kevin Durant led teams are just not nearly as well connected. He isn't a guy that brings people together. People respect this game, and they respect and they respect what he's been throughout his career. But the strength of his is not being the leader on any team.
Man,
and that's just,
that man is the best role player of all time. I'm like he the best role player.
We can't do that. We can't call him.
Hey man, he the best role player. Listen, bro, you had a chance to take over.
I'm not saying, but bucket getter.
But he knows. But and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. Don't hit me with the burner account. But what I'm saying is like, Cuz had a chance to be the leader on so many teams, man. OKC, the prime example. Obviously, he wasn't gonna be the leader to Golden State because they already kind of made a rule. But like, you could have went to Brooklyn. That Brooklyn team could have been so what if.
That was his best chance of.
That was his best chance
post Golden State.
Oh my gosh, bro! Brooklyn would have been on the map.
But also the burner account though, and I think that's a part that plays a huge part in all of this. And it's crazy that we failed to mention this. But that burner account is such it's such an indictment. It's like, this is exactly what we mean. Nobody can ever debate what people say about Kevin Durant's leadership, because when you go to this burner account and you see the things he's saying about his teammates, like, dog, these are your guys. And you can't call some of those people that you call those names and we still be cool and be respected. This is how you're talking about me, telling random strangers on the internet, dog. You're 37. You're 37. Put the phone down, dog.
Put it down.
I gotta treat you like I treat my nephews.
Hey, bro. Like Drake all over again. Like, put the phone down, bro. Put it down.
Man, put the phone down, dog.
But I also think, again, like that, regardless if KD is there next year or not, I don't think he's there next year. Just looking at this Rockets team moving forward, they gotta figure out who's the leader on that team. And I think that's got to be Sengun. And Sengun is he a little crybaby to me. And it's like you kind of gotta man up and be the leader of the team, because you are literally a younger version of Jokic in a way. And pretty much a faster guy who can run the floor. You know what I'm saying? He can put the ball on the floor, his size, get to the rim, pass, can shoot a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta be
emphasis on a little bit.
A little bit. So each his own. But you gotta be able to, like, bro, come on, man. All right. Yeah. I've been itching to talk about this joint, man. I've been itching to talk about these two series, bro. Like, first I'm gonna wait for the Pistons and Magic last. But Boston and Philadelphia. Yep. Man. Listen. And I'm just talking to my boy. I was talking to my boy on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I'm texting him right now. We going back and forth. He a Boston fan or whatever. Cool. I said, y'all are inconsistent. Y'all are very inconsistent to have, Jason Tatum back, to have Jaylen Brown to be the second best, team in the Eastern Conference. And y'all can't close out Philadelphia, who's the 7th seed, who just got Joel Embiid back. Mind you.
Yeah.
Just got Joel Embiid back. You got Tyrese Maxey, you got VJ Edgecombe. If y'all don't close this out in Philly, that series is over. That series is over. It's over.
You think so? You think it's over if they don't close out in Philly?
If they don't close out in Philly, it's over. You have given them. They have won. You have given them too much confidence. They won on the road once, I think. You giving them too much confidence. You giving them too much confidence. And mind you, they almost won game.
I'm sorry. No, I'm tripping. They won on the road twice.
They won on the road twice, and they almost won on the road. Like no, because they only won 2 games. They won at
No,
home and they won.
I'm saying the one game they got was in Boston, bro. You don't remember that? Or did they
No,
go
because they
down 0-2
can't.
against Boston?
They they
Okay.
went down. Hold on, we got the thing right
Yeah,
here. Hold
no,
on.
they lost game 1. They
Yep,
won game 2.
in
Lost
Boston.
game
Yep.
3 and game 4. They lost
Mhm.
both games at home, but they've
Mhm.
won twice in Boston. Those have been their 2 wins.
You win twice. That's the thing. You got to close it out at home. You got to win at home. You got to win at home. You have to win at home, and I think that's just been the issue with them. And I think, it's crazy because I think it was what game was it? It might have been game 3, game 3 at home when they were up.
Yeah.
Like Tyrese Maxey was playing out of his mind, and then they just somehow couldn't close it at home. You're right, and
Yeah.
you have to find a way to use that momentum and win at home. And you can win on the road. You won on the road twice. You have to be able to do that. If they
Yeah, but
win,
well, here's the thing, though, man. The only thing I'm gonna say is this: like, you're right on the Boston being inconsistent thing, right? And the inconsistency stems from their love and affection for the 3-point shot. They live and die by it more than any team that I've seen. Almost like how Charlotte did this season. Like, that's how Boston's played for a number of years, and it is what it is. The biggest difference though in this game 5 was that Joel Embiid realized, like, I'm the biggest man on the court. Let
mhm,
me get my ass in the paint or get in the mid range. He did a lot of work in the mid range too, and let me get near the rim and go to work. I have enough shooters in Maxey, Edgecombe, and Paul George. They can shoot it. I gotta get in the paint. There is no big man on Boston's team. Vucevic can't hold me. Keller can't hold me. None of them cats can hold me. I'm the
mhm,
best big damn near left in the playoffs. Like, I'm the only cat that can really play in the paint and go to work.
yeah.
Nobody can do this now. And in this current NBA, there are no real bigs, especially on defense or offense, that really play in the paint. You know what I'm saying? If Joel Embiid decides, like, hey, I'm gonna get 30 from the post, they can't stop me. They're gonna have to send the double team, and we're gonna have open looks for everybody from range. That's gonna be the difference in this series. And
Yes.
truth be told, had Joel Embiid been available from the beginning of this series, I could very well have picked the Philadelphia 76ers to go win it. I could have very well been convinced that Philadelphia could have went and won this series had Joel Embiid been available and healthy from game 1 on throughout.
I think, and I love the way you said that because again, I'm texting my homie now and he's super biased. I literally told him, I was like, all jokes aside, if Philadelphia wins this on Thursday, this series is over. And he said I was crazy. And I was like, you're overly cocky. Because like you said, Joel Embiid is the big man on campus right now. And you have the confidence of VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey is playing out of his mind. And if you're creating space for Tyrese Maxey to get shots, that's crazy. That's gonna be crazy work for them. And mind you, you're at home on Thursday. You're at home on Thursday, and you get a chance to use momentum again of the crowd with Joel Embiid back. And then Joel Embiid can also have the potential to reestablish himself to the Philly fans, say, hey, I'm back, I'm here, I ain't never left. I got 2 young bulls that can do their thing, and that's it. So
Yeah.
again, like I said before, like this is and we haven't even talked about Paul George, who's been like slithering in there throughout the series. He's had a little slither moments, you know what I'm saying, little whatever.
He's had nice little moments.
He got little moments. So we haven't even seen this core together, at all season. Like when
All
everybody's healthy,
season.
all season. So again, like this is why I love the cockiness of Boston fans, because they kind of feel like because they are the number 2 team and we got both Tatum back. Mind you, I don't care what nobody says. Tatum is not 100% healthy. He not.
No,
He's like
well,
a good 9.
and me and Ace talked about this. Is like, even if he is healthy, there is no way he 100% trusts everything about that leg to be the player that he was, because he isn't. Because if you watch him, his all his points are typically coming from 3-point range. He of the 19, he took 19 field goals the other night, 12 of which for threes. So he's not driving to the rim. He's not,
Yeah.
and mind you, before the injury, before the Achilles, the biggest problem everybody had with Jason Tatum is that, dog, you fall in love with a 3-point shot way too much when you're 6'9", and nobody can stop you if you decide you want to get to the rim.
Yes.
And so this is the same issue, and now he even more so has to play to that 3-point shooting mentality, because I know he doesn't 100% trust driving to the rim every single possession. Now, Jaylen Brown, on the other hand, is going to do that. He's going to get in the mid-range. He's going to drive to the rim. He's going to finish around him. He took 23 shots the other night. He only took 4 threes. Now, he had a bad shooting night, 9 of 23 from the field, but it is what it is. But the shots that Jaylen Brown takes are high percentage playoff shots that typically when we talk about guys that perform well in the playoffs, they work in the mid-range. They work at the rim. You have to do those two things if you want to be a great playoff scorer on a consistent basis. Right now for Boston, look, I trust Boston to have one more great shooting night.
Yeah.
The issue with Boston is that it's going to, like you said, inconsistency is going to swing one way or the other, but the same way it swung the other way was the same way it swung the opposite end the other night when they blasted, when they blasted Philly. So it could very well swing the other way. Probability says it's going to land somewhere in the middle. And if it lands somewhere in the middle, then you're going to have to rely on your best players to go be the best guys. Jaylen Brown, getting to the mid-range, being able to score at will. He's had no problem doing that in this series for the most part. But again, the ultimate X factor is Joel Embiid is back. And if he can play, and if he can give you another game like how he did the other night, 12 of 23 from the field, 33 points, that's going to be enough. If he gives you that again, that's enough. Now,
that's enough.
Can
he do that for 2? Can he do that for? Can he do that for 3 straight games? I don't know. That's the part. Can you do that? Whatever formula work? Because I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I was working last night. But I look at the box score. I look at the box score, and you see everybody who pretty much stepped up. Joel had 33, Tyrese had 15, and VJ had 10. Like Paul George had a smooth 16. Yeah, VJ had how much? Maxey had 25.
Had 25. You said it. Yeah.
Quentin
had 10.
Quentin Grimes came out the bench, scored 18. So
yeah, huge 18.
It's Joel Embiid is coming back and he's taking over the force. But the thing that's going to really lift him out the edge is obviously Tyrese. You can't. It's weird to do an inside out. I think that's the hardest thing to guard in the NBA. It's an inside out. If you have an inside presence and you have an outside presence, it's hard to guard both. You either got to have defenders that can guard one or the other. And it's already lenient. Like you said, with Joel Embiid, a lot of these cats are not guarding down low. And he's a really good low post scorer. So, like, Vucevic ain't, he not guarding that down there. So it's just like, all right, cool. What you gonna do? He really can't. So it's like, and then like a lot of Celtics fans talked about some big Vucevic. All right, cool. Y'all think he's good enough to get y'all through the hump? He's not. Y'all had a better chance of keeping Porzingis, someone who's somewhat decent down low as a defender, but y'all got rid of him. Got Vucevic. Said, oh, we gonna win a championship? No. Y'all biggest X factor again
Porzingis, bro.
for the first round. Y'all biggest X factor, like you said, is Joel Embiid. And mind you, there's confidence in VJ Edgecombe. Again, Paul George gave you 16, gave you 7 assists. Like Joel Embiid gave you 8 assists. VJ Edgecombe gave you 3. Tyrese Maxey gave you 5. So they're still sharing the ball. You even look at the rebounds. Tyrese had 10 rebounds, 25 points. Joel Embiid he only had 4. Paul had 9.
And like you're saying, like having Tyrese as Tyrese is the guy now. Like Tyrese is the franchise now. I think that title has shifted to Tyrese Maxey in real time, and that's great because overall, I think we still know the most dominant player is still very much Joel Embiid. Those two, I mean, it's gonna take magnificent performances from those two for the next few nights in order to get it done. They are capable. They are capable to at least force a game 7, and that's all I want. All I want is a game 7 because these are two teams that I think are immensely talented. You look at the rosters and you look at what these guys have displayed. You clearly there's elite talent there. I want these guys to go to a game 7, do or die. Let's see who has it.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, even though like I usually feel weary about any team that has to go to a game 7 in round 1, I would typically tell you you're not winning a championship. In this case, because it's Philly and because of the talent that they have, Boston going to a game 7 with Philly would not make me change how I feel about Boston as far as getting out of the East, truth be told. This is going to be their toughest matchup. This is the team that poses them the hardest threat in terms of a presence that you really don't have an answer for in Joel Embiid. That doesn't exist anywhere else in the East outside of this team.
I will say this, though. Predicting, if they don't win this series, OKC is winning the whole thing. If they
all OKC had to do for me was to make it out the West. I don't think anybody in the East can mess with OKC.
No, I think Boston would have been a good matchup for them. But
that's the best
in terms of, if you look at any of these teams in the Eastern Conference, all these teams in the Eastern Conference, can't none of these teams beat OKC. Hell, can't none of these teams beat San Antonio. So,
that's what I'm saying.
Regardless of who comes out of the West, nobody on this team other than Boston probably has a chance to either beating San Antonio or OKC. There's no team. And transitioning over to this series, the way Detroit looking, fraud.
I just want to be. I just want to just be the one to say, and I love when I can do this. I said it months ago. I said even then, who's the other scorer outside of Cade Cunningham? Is this team really built? I said, for as well as Detroit played all year, you never once heard anybody say, who I think can win a championship? Detroit. Them 60 wins. And ain't nobody ever mentioned y'all with OKC or San Antonio or Boston. Even with them 60 some odd wins. And again, they're missing a secondary scorer. They have nobody outside of Cade Cunningham that can consistently create their own shot. Cade Cunningham's shot isn't falling. The percentages in this game are god-awful. And let me be very clear. This is a horrible series to watch. I've not had fun watching this series.
I ain't watching.
Because truth be told, and this is the God's honest truth, this is an NBA TV playoff series. We should not be watching this on
NBA
ESPN.
TV is crazy. NBA
this
TV
is what it should be.
Crazy.
This
this
is what it is.
He said, "Put the thing back on the TV.
Put it back.
It don't deserve the streaming service. It need to be on TV.
It don't even deserve Prime. Don't even give it Prime Video. You know what you can get Peacock. You can go to Peacock. Go straight to streaming. You know what I'm saying? Straight to DVD. This is a straight to DVD ad series, bro. This is not the one that I wanted to sit here and watch with y'all. I'm just keeping it a band.
We got the bootleg DVD series.
This is it, bro. Goddamn people walking through the front of the theater, all type of shit. It's crazy. This is a mess. Now, credit to Orlando. Credit to Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero, because there have been a lot of questions about whether those two could coexist and win together. They found their rhythm here in the playoffs, all thanks to your damn Charlotte Hornets, of course. Okay. Charlotte with the fucking get right game.
All right. This is what pisses me off the most about this whole situation. It's like if the Pistons were gonna play this bad, at least have a team that is exciting to watch. You can say all this stuff about Paolo Banchero and all of them. That team is also a mess because they don't run any offense. They just go.
No.
And it's like you said before, they just go. They like road runners. They just go. And the Pistons is the coyote and they can't catch them. That's all it is. And it's like, you saying this is a straight to DVD? Boy, this is one of them African films with the bad special effects. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. This makes no sense. And the fact that the Hornets, had an opportunity to play this team, I'm not saying it would have been the same outcome, but I would rather watch a team with structure. And I'm talking about the Hornets. I've been a Hornets fan my whole life. And you've seen the Hornets. You've seen the backstory about the Hornets before this coach came. You've seen the stories, the player
Yeah.
stories, all of this stuff. The Hornets have better structure than the Magic. The Magic, they not a hot team because if they play either the Raptors or the Cavs, they getting beat.
Oh,
They getting smacked.
bro, it's
They
not
getting
even
smacked.
that. It's like nobody wants to watch this. And I hate to be that type of fan to say like nobody wants to see this, but we don't want to see this. There are 2 series, damn near 3 series in the East that we don't want to see. The only series that we give a inkling of a damn about is the Celtics and 76ers. Who the hell cares about the Knicks and the Hawks? I don't.
Now hold on. CJ been hooping.
Hell no.
I'll watch CJ now. CJ
Fam,
been giving them boys what?
I don't
Listen,
give a flying damn about CJ McCollum. hoops.
hey,
He
New
nice.
York,
It's not that he not nice. It's just that I don't
nice.
care.
I mean, yeah, I ain't looking to watch it. Here's my thing, bro. I barely watched the first round. I will tell you straight up, I don't watch the first round at all. This year has been the only year I watched a couple series from the first. First of all, y'all playing against the Rockets, that's just rest time for Luka. He coming back this round. Like bro,
Luka's not coming back, bro.
He ain't come back.
He's not coming back. It's not happening.
Well,
it's not happening, bro.
LeBron
it was a grade 2 hamstring strain. That thing that takes a while. He damn near need he need more than a month to get ready for this. Just to heal and then be back to where you need to be in terms of conditioning and all. He's gonna need more than that.
Okay, so
I mean, Austin Reeves is probably back though.
I ain't worried about him. He ain't doing that. And LeBron too old to be 0-30. All right, he too good. Cut them lights on, boy. Listen, cut them lights on. You need to see. So I just need. It's just the second round. Even the second round is like whoever win out of the Magic, whoever. I'm going. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
No,
I gotta hear what you gotta say.
I was just trying to get us back to the Pistons Magic series, and just saying
you don't want to talk about that no more.
No,
said it was straight to DVD.
No, it is, but I'm gonna do my due diligence, bro, because I still pride myself on being analytical. You know what I'm saying? But I do think the biggest difference in this series, the biggest difference in this series though is guys like Jalen Suggs. Like when you start looking around at the other guys, like, hey man, who can go get their own shot? Jalen Suggs can go get his own shot. Desmond Bane can go get his own shot. And these guys make life so much easier for Banchero and Wagner. And here's the thing, Banchero's found his shot again. The mid, his middy's been going. Now that 3-point shot still ain't there, but hey man, get to the rim, get to your mid range, and go to work. Wagner, same deal. Get to the rim. He can shoot the ball better from 3-point range, and they're long. And the biggest thing is that they have a lot of length, and they have a lot of athleticism, and they can play just as physical with Detroit. They just like they play the same type of style Detroit plays, but they have better athletes suited for this. Jalen Duren, nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. You're the second option, and here's the thing, I know. Because here's the part that should have had everybody spooked about Detroit. In what world, we're in 2026, and your second best scorer is a big who doesn't handle the ball, doesn't shoot the ball, he is a rim running big. He is not a big with a vast skill set. So if that's your second best scorer, then your first best scorer better be James Harden, because you ain't got enough to go beat nobody. Because that's the only cat I've ever seen be the best damn scorer, and his second best scorer was Clint Capella at a point. You know what I'm saying? Before they got CP. You know what I'm saying? So Detroit just isn't built for it. I hope the Magic put them both out of their misery here pretty soon. Don't keep this thing going much longer. Then we get to the Raptors versus Cleveland. This series is just nasty as well. Also, straight to DVD, NBA TV, bootleg copy ass series. You know what I'm saying? Like, but credit to the young Toronto Raptors. R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes, CMB, Colin Murray Bulls, Columbia, South Carolina, shout out
South
AC
Carolina,
Flora,
baby.
you know what I'm saying? University of South Carolina grad, alum, man. Well, he played at the University of South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But no, shout out to those boys and just the level of physicality they brought to this game. That's been what's kept them in it. Because from a finesse standpoint, all the finesse lies with Cleveland.
Yes.
Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and even their bigs in Cleveland aren't big, brolic guys. Evan Mobley, a skinny guy. Jared Allen, a skinny guy. Not a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Not a lot of physicality in that room. And Cleveland, again, for another year, is getting pushed around the playoffs. And they just don't have the personnel to me to ever win playoff series at a high magnitude. Not with those bigs that they have. Evan Mobley, from a talent perspective, should be a guy that you should be able to rely on. He's not. Jared Allen, he already told y'all boy how he felt about the lights. You know what I'm saying? He got, Jared Allen is scared of the lights. He does not need to be nowhere near the lights. He's let it be known that he is not going to play well when the moment is ratchet up. So it's
But
just this team is exactly who I thought they were.
I think it's a team where they're so centered on like their stars, mind you. Like no one scored over double figures other than Sam Morril. I think I pronounced his name. He had 14 last game. James had 19, and Donovan had 20. Mind you, like if you look at the Raptors, there are two guys who scored over 20, and you got 3 guys that scored over 10, 2 scored over 15, and one of them was a young bull, Colin Murray, CMB.
Yeah.
So, and he's coming off the bench. He's not even starting. So that says a lot about the development of Toronto over time. I haven't watched a lot of Toronto basketball this year, but that literally shows you the grit, and that's a good defensive team as well. Scotty Barnes is a really good defender. Yeah. Like Brandon Ingram has improved to be a better defender. Like Jakob has been a decent since the San Antonio days. R.J. Barrett has been decent, and CMB, if we know him in South Carolina, he a dog. I remember seeing him at the tournament, bro. He was lit. But it's one of those situations that Cleveland has been dealing with this for a while. They've been dealing with this for a while, not even before Harden, to where they only rely on their stars. Or at the time, it was just Donovan Mitchell. And it's like, oh, let them score. But that says a lot about Toronto's defense, because if you're holding James Harden to 19 and Donovan Mitchell to only 20, that says a lot about your defense. And I think this team can make a run deep in the second round. I really do believe that they could probably beat this team. They can beat Cleveland. They can beat Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that. Let me be clear. Cleveland's still winning the series.
Okay.
Cleveland's still gonna win the series because neither team has won on the road thus far, and Cleveland gets 2 of the next 3 games at the crib. Toronto would have to be able to go shoot themselves well enough to be able to win a game on the road, which I don't think they're capable of doing. I believe Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are enough to get you out of this round. And truth be told, what waits for you in the next round, you should be game for it. Now, I think Orlando's a bad matchup for them because Orlando plays physical and they are a defensive team, but they also don't provide a offensive team that is like, this isn't a potent offense in Orlando. I mean,
No.
They've been making it. They've found their stride, but will that be enough against guys like Jared Allen and Mobley? Even though I think they, like, from a size advantage in terms of their weight, they should be able to move those guys around the paint. But it's gonna be a lot of tough contested shots. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do think Orlando could very well win that series though if they were to get out of this round.
I look at it as with Detroit. I think not with Detroit. I'm sorry, but with Orlando, I'm asking myself, like you said, they are a physical team. Did they really turn it on at the right time? That is the question, because you go back to the play-in. They played against a Hornets team who was they dominate the Hornets. I will say they're physical against the Hornets. The Hornets are not a physical team. You know what I'm saying? They're not as physical. So, they go and they play against they play Philly. They lost to Philly, and then they go and play the Hornets.
Yeah.
They dominate against the Hornets, and then they play against a Detroit team who
That's a
exposes it to
physical
be
team.
physical. They are physical. They're not as physical, but it's like like you said with Durant. Durant is not like he's not a Joel Embiid. He's a guy who
No.
just dominates down low. He can't put the ball on the floor. He can't shoot outside. And if you're one
But ask
dimensional
yourself
like
this
that,
though. But ask yourself this though. Who's the next physical team they're going to see in the East? Because that team doesn't really exist outside of
that's true.
maybe Boston.
That's true.
Like,
And to me,
I mean,
Boston's not that physical.
They're not either. They're not either.
They just get downhill.
They just they get downhill, and we've seen if you have a physical presence in the paint, they're going to struggle with that. I mean, for Orlando, dog, there's a good chance Orlando makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, it's on the table. I just have to I have to be forthcoming with that. Like they can get out of the next round, unless because the only way I see Cleveland winning is not that I believe Cleveland's the better team, but like Donovan Mitchell and James Harden will have to shoot themselves into that out of that next round. They would have to shoot them. They're gonna have to score themselves to a series win over Orlando. And if your shots aren't falling against Toronto, unless Toronto's defense is just that much better than everybody else's, if the shots aren't falling against Orlando, then I don't know how you beat them.
That's what I was saying. Like I don't know if again, we've seen this from Harden, and we've also seen this from Donovan, to where if you're shooting your way out and you're only having 19 points, and I think 5 players were in double figures on that team the last game, that's not going to help you. It's not. And their defense is just like, obviously your strategy as a player, as a coach, your main guys are going to get their points. You already know that. But if you're stopping the core players from scoring at least like 6 or more, or if that one person who's like the extra help, then you pretty much got them on lock. There were 5 players in double figures on that Raptors team last game. I think that is something that you should be concerned about, because that team can hold its own. Now, I think if Orlando does play Toronto, they're not playing a physical defensive team, but they're playing a gritty defensive team. Gritty versus physical, that'll be.
Here's the thing. I think they are playing a physical team, though. Truth be told, we are with Scotty. Scotty Barnes is a physical. Scotty Barnes could play physical defense. CMB can play physical defense, and RJ Barrett even as well. And just because of, I look at the build of these guys. These are guys that are they got some girth on them. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. You know what I'm saying? They got some size. They got some size to them. So it's like, you won't be able to just, I feel like, bully your way around. And truth be told, if I'm them, the Raptors are the team I don't want to see. Truth be told, because
Are you saying the Magic?
Yeah, if I'm the Magic,
Yeah.
I don't believe I want to see the Raptors, because they're going to be able to play defense to a certain degree that we know they're like we know we're gonna be matched. Now we probably have the better scores. Well, I can't even say that, because I don't think either Banchero or Wagner are better, or are they better scorer than Brandon Ingram? I mean,
Paulo probably not. Like, is he a better scorer than he's a good scorer, but he's not a better scorer than Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram.
I feel like ISO wise, if you're going ISO wise, I know he hasn't been like good lately, but if you're going ISO wise for somebody who can really put the ball on the floor with length, Ingram is a good comparison to KD that we'll ever get when he's on. He's a decent comparison to KD. So I would say Ingram is a better scorer, but again, who else do you cut? Like Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs. I think Suggs is a better scorer than Scotty. Scotty's just a gritty defender. He's like a 3-and-D type of guy, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously CMB is young. Varner is gonna be Varner. Like, who's gonna like Jakob Poeltl and Varner? I wouldn't say it's close.
It's a matchup. It's a matchup. Some matchup problems, because their bigs are their best scorers. Like they're like like they have more, and their team, because of how they drafted, they pretty much have all these guys playing the same position. Like Wendell
Mhm.
Carter, Wagner, and Banchero all play the same position. Damn it, these are all the same player in just in different, just different shapes and sizes. But like they essentially all play the same position. They don't really have a bona fide center on that Orlando team. He's got a bunch of fours running around,
Yeah.
handling the rock. And you got two guards and Suggs and Desmond Bain that finish out the lineup. That's about that. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I would like to lie to you and say I've really watched this Atlanta and Knicks series in depth, but
I haven't either,
I
brother. I will say this though. It's from the outside looking in, it's typical New York basketball. It's
it's
typical
ugly.
cat and mouse when it comes to them and the Hawks. They don't like each other. It's a rival. They thought they got rid of a villain in Trae Young, and they got a silent killer in CJ McCollum. And that's just me being honest. They play at home, and I'm not hating on the Hawks because I feel like the future for the Hawks is bright. It's bright. Like and that's just seeing what they have. And I would say the ceiling for the Hawks is bright, but that window for New York is slowly closing.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
don't think they
closing.
make it out the East. I think they get to the second round. I think they don't make it. They don't even get to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Nickeil Alexander-Walker, most improved player of the year, he was doing this thing. Jonathan Kuminga is slowly climbing to the ranks of what he should have been in Golden State, or the opportunity he should have had in Golden State. He's doing this
Yeah.
thing. Jalen Johnson, I love that cat. Him and Dyson Daniels, I love both of them together.
It's
Both of them
crazy
together
though.
is crazy.
Jeff T said something about Dyson Daniels, and I'm not gonna lie, he's probably ruined this young man's career. He said this is the worst offensive player I've ever seen. And when you look at the numbers, bro, Dyson Daniels shot 18% from 3-point range this year. And it is crazy how bad he is offensively. And I've watched the games I have watched. Well, after Jeff T said that, I watched him. I just wanted to watch him. Like, bro, how bad can he actually be? No, he's actually as bad as like actually words don't describe how bad he is offensively.
Yeah.
Like he's actually dog shit. Like no like he's actually at he's so I think he's asked to the point that if you play pickup hoops, you feel like, oh, I'm probably better than him. You're not, but you could probably feel it. You probably have a lot of confidence in feeling that way if once you watch him hoop. But
I think and I think this is what's gonna not stop, but like hinder the Hawks in the future. Jalen Johnson is the future of this team.
yeah,
Jonathan Kuminga has to find a way to get into that starting rotation to be that either first or second option. Because right now he's coming off the bench, right? At least right now.
yeah.
Dyson, like Dyson Daniels, yeah, he terrible. I don't know how that 17-point came, but the thing about it, he's a transition scorer.
He's a defensive. He's transition scorer, defensive menace. Like that's where he really earns his keep is on the defensive side of the
He's
ball.
on the defensive, especially down on that wing. He's a wing defender, which is what you need, and he brings that. He is literally a modern day, minus the rebounding. He's a modern day Dennis Rodman. He's a piss. He's a piss.
You be throwing some names out there, boy. I swear.
What you mean?
I was just gonna say Tony Allen. Dan Dennis.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tony Allen. My bad.
I
Well, I
said,
did say minus. I said minus the rebounding, but yeah, I should have thought about Tony Allen.
If he's gonna be
though.
minus
Yeah,
the
you're not wrong.
rebounding, then he can't be Dennis Rodman.
Okay, then. So Tony,
That's the whole.
Because I was looking at it from like a pest standpoint, but I should have thought about Tony Allen. You're right, Tony Allen.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from like a perimeter defender. Perimeter defender who can't score. Tony Allen. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Tony Allen.
My bad, fam. My bad. Yeah. He's a modern day Tony Allen, and he works. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker is another guy who's a streaky guy, 16.
Yeah.
CJ is just to be there. He's not there long term. I think he's there to bring energy.
But like
So,
if those young guys come along, CJ McCollum's going to be very valuable for a team. You know, he's valuable to a team like this. That if you have like the young core in place, like if Kaminga Johnson, and Alexander Walker are your pieces. That's a nice 3-piece of guys. Can these guys grow together? And if you have a guy like a CJ McCollum that just gets to come in and cook and do what he's done his entirety of his career, which is be a microwave scorer. Yeah, you got a team that can make some noise. You got to figure out how you want to fill out the rest of that roster, but you got something to work with there for sure.
New York, on the other hand, I hate talking about New York, bro, because it's just like, what y'all gonna be? What y'all gonna do?
Nothing.
Like,
They're gonna be where they been.
like, because it's getting on my nerves to the point where it's just like, y'all like Jalen Brunson, but he's scoring 39. Y'all don't like Jalen Brunson. Cat doing whatever Cat doing. Josh Hart supposed to be this streaky. That OG Anunoby just be coming out of nowhere with these double-digit points. Mikal Bridges. Mikal ain't what he used to be in Phoenix. I don't know why y'all trying to make it seem like he the Phoenix dude. Jordan Clarkson ain't been that since he got there. Jose Alvarado to me is overrated. He's just a guy who just picks the ball off or whatever. He don't really do much. Mitchell Robinson ain't really what he was supposed to be. This whole roster just get on my nerves. And why is Landry Shamet still in the league?
That's correct. Yeah, Landry Shamet still been in the league. It's crazy, but I'm looking at the coaching staff, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think firing Tibbs after last year, to me, I couldn't make sense of it. To then go replace him with who you replace him with is like, okay. I don't like this either. I'm just not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Mike Brown. I'm not a fan of what he's done with his roster. He's not maximizing it any more than what Tibbs did. And
also, bro, for some reason, bro, like, we can say whatever we want, bro. I might be a hater when I say this joint, though, man. That man ain't been known for nothing but coaching LeBron.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it, bro. Like, he's relevant.
He had that 1 year in Sacramento.
1 year in Sacramento, yeah, whatever. But then again, like, I feel like Sacramento was dumb enough to let him go. Like, he was building that from the core. And then he won Coach of the Year in 2009 when LeBron was there. LeBron won Coach of the Year. Let's just keep it a bean. LeBron won Coach of the Year that year. So, like, I mean, yeah, you bring him in, what else you gonna do? You definitely gonna tell him to tell, Brunson to go shoot, however many shots he need to shoot. Of course he gonna do that.
It's just that in a year where there was no Jason Tatum for the majority of it, you still couldn't get anything past a 3 seed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really don't see, like, New York just got a dip, bro. I'm just tired of hearing New York saying this year. I'm just tired. New York is becoming the Boston at this point. Now and it's like, at least Boston can back it up. New York, we make one little conference final. Y'all beat Trae Young. Now y'all want to act like y'all the best team in the league. No, bro. Y'all not. As bad as Detroit's playing against Orlando, hell, Detroit better than y'all. Still. So, like, all they need is another score, and they would be way better than y'all. If Detroit gets another score, it will literally just be them in Boston. That's it. They got the depth, but they got the team. All they need is another score. A perimeter score, not a low pro score, a perimeter score. And they straight. But yeah, this, like you said, this New York series, straight DVD.
Straight DVD, man. Straight DVD, bro. I gonna count with you. If I'm being real, bro.
Yeah. Come on.
No, I'm
say
not
it.
saying that.
Say it, bro. You might always say it, bro. Go ahead, bro. What you gonna say now? You can't just not say, just throw the hint out and not say it, bro. Go ahead.
Because it wasn't gonna be the truth. Because I was gonna talk about the playoffs as a whole. I was kind of I was thinking about.
Oh nah, I think the playoffs been good.
Like, it's been straight. You know what? Nah, I do got something.
But it's your typical first round, though, bro. It's the typical first round.
I'm gonna tell you this though. I think the quality of teams is not there.
It's not a yeah. Cause the
It's
Suns
not
being
there,
in, cause
bro.
it's crazy when you say that, cause like even when the Suns,
No,
the game one of that series, they were like, this was supposed to be a rebuild year for the Suns. And hearing the fact that a rebuild quality team like the Suns made the playoffs is just kind of like, why are y'all playing?
even with Portland. I mean, Portland had a great story for Portland in terms of like, your head coach was in a RICO case. Tiago Splitter comes in and you made the playoff. You
Shout out
made the play in.
Tiago, man. Shout out
But
Tiago.
then fact, shout out Tiago Splitter. But then that got overshadowed by the fact your owner cheap as hell. This fucker ain't even want to buy the shirt for the playoff game. And he talking about he don't want to pay a head coach over $1.5 million.
Yep.
Again, I don't understand what you even got the team for if you wanted to be cheap. This is not like you don't. This isn't a business where you need to cost cut. You don't really need to do that. You kind of need to like keep up with the Joneses, if anything. Because if you're gonna do this, then why did you even buy the team? But even my whole issue though is even the quality of teams. Like if I were just and this is gonna be the last thing we're gonna get up out of here. We've been talking for a minute. Right, so if I just go through the standings, right, and I just look through these teams, Detroit isn't a quality number one. This isn't a quality number one seed. Boston is Boston for sure. New York, solid. Cleveland, man, solid. But like these teams are obviously flawed. Toronto and Atlanta, like these are young teams. Philly is uberly talented. That's supposed to be one of your better teams, but they're sitting at a 7 seed. And you got Orlando, who is young, but like a team that is clearly a flawed group. And these are teams that I don't know. Because I look at the West and I'm like, aside from take OKC and San Antonio out. Those are the two elite teams. Denver clearly flawed. Lakers clearly flawed. Houston clearly flawed. Minnesota flawed as hell. Portland, Phoenix. Again, I'm just not. To me, I think the quality of teams in this in this NBA playoffs has been on the downside. This wasn't a great. This had not been a great year in terms of the overall quality of the league. This is not what we're used to. We've seen years in the Western Conference where 50 wins would make you a 7 seed. You know what I'm saying? So the quality of the league is definitely a watered down product, unfortunately, bro. I have to say this is very much a
I'll say
watered
this
down
though,
product.
and I've been saying this since this joint started, bro. And everybody been like saying, "Oh, it's better for the league." It's the play-in, bro. It's the play-in. Stop, get rid of the play-in, cause it's just like, what's the point of you having? And I'm not taking nothing away from the Magic, but the Magic was like what, a 9 seed, 10 seed, whatever. Like the Hornets was a 10 seed.
The Magic were the 8th seed. Charlotte was
They
the
were the
9th
8th
seed,
seed.
and Miami was the 10th seed.
So it's like the Suns, the play. Like,
fair,
come on, man.
Yeah.
You can't justify that, bro. I'm sorry, because
the play-in I don't care for.
Because a lot before the play-in, a lot of the competition always was that 8th, 9th, 10th seed if it was close. That was your play-in right there at the end of the year. But y'all wanted to make money so bad. Like, yeah, let's have a play-in with you already got a team who pretty much made the play. If I'm a coach or a GM in this play-in, it'll piss me off. I'm already in the AC. Why do I have to play like 3 other teams or whatever the case may be to get a spot that I rightfully earned?
Yeah, if I was a 7 seed, I definitely feel that way as somebody that was a 7 seed. If I'm the 7 seed, I definitely feel as if I don't want to be. I should not be in this game. I should not be in this. You know what I'm saying? And for the off chance that I may not even make the play in at all, yeah, no, I'm cool on it, man. I'm definitely cool on it. But I don't know. I think Adam Silver's league is in a weird place.
He gotta get up out of there, bro. I'm sick of him.
Yeah, I don't care about how things are being run over there, and we can talk about that more later on. But we can find at a later date. But this has been Gem Dropper Sports. I'm your host, Shanti Stewart. This is my co-host, Daniel Stevenson. And we out.